Hey, good morning, Chillie here with Chillie's Cruises. Getting started a little bit late today. I apologize for that. Um, those of you that have uh, been wondering what's going on with the live broadcast, we've been had a whole slew of broadcasts now over the past few days that um, or the past few weeks actually that have been early, started early instead of at 10 o'clock. So we're on today as we're supposed to, for a change. Now, I'm also trying to figure out here what I did, how I got the chat box started last time. And of course, do you think I can remember what I did to get the chat box on? So let's get that going here before I can actually get started. Tuesday. Oh, that's not what I want to do either. And that's something that I can't remember what I did to get a silly thing started. But that's me. So, that's not crazy. Well, I'm not going to worry about that for now. Watch chilling there. Maybe that's it. There we go. Okay. There's the chat box. So, hi everyone. Okay. So that's there. So now you can chat and I can see what's going on. If some of you don't remember, I was having a horrible time with chatting. I was not being able to see it when I'm on a live broadcast. So I had people that were leaving me comments and chats and so forth. And I had no idea what they were saying because it wasn't showing on my screen. So I had to set up the tablet and actually have myself on another device so I can see the chat. So I learned how to do that finally. Now, if I can just remember how I do it, so I can get started. All right. If you were looking at the information that I posted earlier, you saw that the lead story this morning is again about Puerto Rico. And man, I tell you what, folks, what a mess. And I'll try to get you updated on that. But this isn't the end of the problem there. Hey, there's Bubba. Okay, Bubba, the chat is working. And Bubba, my friend Bubba, is back. Bubba's the person that got me set up so that I could actually do this. So anyway, hey, Bubba, glad you're with us this morning. All right, let's talk about Puerto Rico. The latest on this mess, the ousted governor of Puerto Rico, Ricardo Rosselló, chose his successor yesterday, nominating Pedro Pierluisi, Pierluisi, or something like that. And I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. You guys know I'm terrible on pronunciation. Who formerly represented the island in Congress to serve as Secretary of State. The move positions Mr. Pierluisi to take over as governor when Rosselló's resignation becomes effective later in the week. Even so, Mr. Pierluisi's ascension remains uncertain as it's a tense power struggle among the leaders of the ruling New Progressive Party, which supports Puerto Rican statehood, threatened to derail his nomination and keep the territory in political turmoil. Questions about the complicated secession have lingered since last week when Mr. Rosselló announced his imminent exit. He was under fire for his participation in the leaked exchange of rude text messages and faced intense pressure from a massive uprising of Puerto Ricans who are fed up with corruption, a stagnant economy, and a poor response to Hurricane Maria from 2017. And then there were several officials who were indicted and arrested from mishandling of funds in his administration. Mr. Pierluisi was expected to take the oath of office as Secretary of State on Wednesday, the governor's office said. Mr. Rosselló called a special session of the Legislative Assembly for Thursday, the day before he plans to step down. He steps down on Friday. The legislature needed to confirm the appointment. And then Mr. Pierluisi, assuming that gets done, would become the governor. Mr. Rosselló picked Pierluisi, his former 2016 primary rival, because of his experience as Puerto Rico's residence commissioner in Washington, and before that as Secretary of Justice when Mr. Rosselló's father, Pedro Rosselló, was governor in the 90s. The governor said that Mr. Pierluisi intended to serve through the end of the current term, but would not run for re-election in 2020. So that end of it sounds like it's reasonably good. The problem is that he's unlikely to be approved by the legislature, several of whom have proposed, instead of naming him, that they name Senate President Thomas Rivera Schatz a declared candidate in the 2020 governor's election. So you've got this whole mess where the next person in line that's in office has stated, frankly, that she will not take it. That's Wanda Vasquez, who is the Secretary of Justice and is the next in the line of succession that's still in office. The current Secretary of State resigned as part of this whole thing that started the problems with the protest to begin with. So that position is not filled. When Ms. Vasquez says she would not take the position, she's the one that urged Rosselló to appoint somebody Secretary of State, and then they would then become the person. That she did not want it. So behind the scenes, former Governor Rosselló negotiated with legislative leaders to try to find a consensus candidate who could be left in charge of the troubled government until next year's election, but it was difficult to find a candidate who could be confirmed by the Legislative Assembly and be acceptable to the public. Protesters said repeatedly that they were tired of crony politics. Mr. Pierluisi, a lawyer, could have a conflict of interest because he works for a firm that does external legal consulting for the unelected Federal Oversight Board that oversees Puerto Rico's finances. So his brother is chairman of the Oversight Board. And back in 2016, the New York Times found out that Mr. Pierluisi introduced legislation as resident commissioner that would benefit at least 2 Wall Street companies that had hired his wife. So, I mean, it just looks like to me that this whole thing is still a big mess. It's going to continue to be a big mess. And I'm not sure what's going to happen even come Friday when Rosselló steps down, if this person is going to be confirmed and step into office. So who knows? But anyway, Puerto Rico politics, man, I thought our politics in this country was bad, but over there that's just awful. And I feel for the people, and I'm not taking any sides in this because I don't know the characters, but it just, boy, it has a terrible smell to it to me. All right, let's see. Bubba says sad about San Juan. It's a beautiful port. Yes, it is. I love San Juan. San Juan considered a Jones Act port. Ooh, I don't know. It is a U.S. territory, but it is like the islands of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Yeah, it's a good question, Bob. I don't know the answer to that. Okay, we had a couple other brief stories to cover this morning. There's not a whole lot of news out there over the past couple of days, other than the San Juan situation, which is ongoing. So clearly not the end of that. All right, the Grand Caymans, several people had, including my friend Bruce, traveling with Bruce, had this yesterday. A Carnival and Royal Caribbean are going together and helping finance a pier in Grand Cayman that will allow cruise ships to dock when visiting the Caribbean island. The Grand Cayman Compass newspaper there in the Cayman Islands is reporting that Carnival and Royal Caribbean will help fund the project. Both cruise lines are a part of the Verdant Isle Port Partners, the preferred bidder for the project. Project is expected to cost about $200 million and will take 2.5 years to complete. Those of you that have been to Grand Cayman, if you've sailed in the Caribbean, you've been to Grand Cayman, especially the Western Caribbean, as most all of the ships, except the real big ones, go into Grand Cayman, and it's a tender situation. And it's a kind of a pain in the butt. You get on a tender boat, a small little boat, and go into port, and the ship stays out in the harbor. And then when you do whatever you do at Grand Cayman for the day, and you want to get back on the ship, you got to catch the boat, the tender, back out to your ship. The real big ships, the new modern ships, don't go in there because it's so many people, will take so many more tenders, and it would just be a real mess. So it's the first time you do it, I guess it's a little on the exciting side. It's like an adventure, but after you've done it a while, it's a pain in the butt. But I like Grand Cayman. Grand Cayman is a wonderful place to visit. So in the long run, this is a really, really good idea. It's going to cost everybody some money. It's going to cost about $8 a person. Of course, that will go into the price of your cruise. So if your cruise is stopping in Grand Cayman, the fee will be up $8 after this is done, and probably before then. But the new piers will be able to accommodate the largest cruise ship in the world, including the Oasis class from Royal Caribbean. The largest cruise ships have bypassed stopping in Grand Cayman due to the need for tenders. Like I said, for the last several years, different ideas have been presented to help eliminate the need for tenders. One idea that was rejected was an interesting cable car system that would ferry passengers to the port. I thought that one was cool. It was like a cable car setup. A timetable has not been given for the construction of the new pier as far as when the construction will begin. But it looks like that's going to happen now. So I would think construction will start in the very near future on that. So a couple years from now, Grand Cayman is going to be, have its own pier, and we'll go in there and like we would at many other ports. Okay, one other story I wanted to touch on. Princess Cruises have announced a new jazz theater concept that will debut on 2 of its newest ships, the Sky Princess and the Enchanted Princess. The Jazz Lounge Take 5 will be a place to listen to live performances, plus enjoy after-hour parties and take part in dance lessons. The program of themed musical evenings has been announced and will cover a whole wide range of things. So if you like jazz, folks, the 2 new ships coming out this year with Princess, they're going to be heavily invested in jazz, which That's great. That's one of the things that I do enjoy. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, that's it as far as the news goes this morning. Let's see if we've got any other comments here. Oh yeah, that's our friend Bruce lived in Grand Cayman. So I'd forgotten about that. But by the way, folks, traveling with Bruce, if you guys don't follow him, you need to. He used to do a show very similar to this, his new show at 5 days a week. And he's just changed that to doing just once a week broadcast on Monday night. But Bruce is interesting, covers a wide range of things. He, like me, puts up videos pretty regularly on all kinds of facets in the cruise industry. I do a little more on travel industry as opposed to cruise industry. Bruce is strictly cruises. Great guy. A lot of people. My friend Bubba is always on Bruce's broadcast also. So take a look at it. It's Traveling. That's with 2 L's. Traveling with Bruce. You might want to check that out. And Bubba has been to hell. So have I, Bubba. I have sent postcards from hell. Hell is a little town, if you call it a town. It's a post office in Grand Cayman, on the Cayman Islands. Oh, Bubba is cruising the Sky Princess in January 2020. That's awesome. But he will not be taking jazz dance lessons. Oh, Bubba, please, you gotta get out there and boogie, dude. Could you see us old farts taking jazz lessons? Yeah, I'm not going to be taking jazz lessons either. I might listen to jazz, but my days of dancing are past, unfortunately. With 2 hips replaced and bad knees, I'm not going to do any dancing. So anyway, if you're new to this channel, and by the way, as of this morning, our subscriber count was up to 1,417. So we keep growing. We're growing slowly, but we're growing. So if we've got some new folks out there that are joining us for the first time today, I apologize for stumbling around a little bit trying to get my chat box going. Hopefully next time I'll do better. By design, our broadcasts are supposed to be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 10 a.m. live. And I'm going to try to stay with that schedule unless there's some major breaking news, which kept happening to us over the past couple of weeks. And I would just go on and do a live broadcast early in the morning for me and Bubba. Bubba, who's like me, is up at all hours. Yeah, we're nuts. Of course, Bubba has dogs that he takes out. Most of you know that my niece has a pet sitting business, so I'm just as liable to be out taking care of dogs too, which I've got to go take care of one here in a few minutes. But yeah, we're animal lovers around here. But so I was doing a lot of live broadcasts early in the morning to get the information on the air as quickly as possible. And then folks that were looking for me at 10 a.m. would have to see a video instead of a live broadcast because I had been live 4 or 5 hours earlier. I will try to keep to that schedule unless, and I make no apologies from the fact something major happens and we're going to need to get it on air as quickly as possible. I'll go live early like I did this past couple of weeks. Other than that, what else is happening? Not much. Today is Thursday. Saturday, I'll be here. Tuesday is a travel day for me. I'm going to Kentucky to see my son and grandkids. I'm not sure how I'm going to do Tuesday yet. I'll probably on Tuesday might do an early broadcast and then leave and drive and do a Thursday broadcast from out there next week. I'll be in Louisville for a couple days just to visit with the kids before they start in school. So anyway, I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you'd like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, my interview show is called Chillie Chats. And of course, travel and cruise industry news on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner and hit the bell notification system. That'll notify you when I go live or when I posted a new video. So in the meantime, that's it for now. This is Chillie, the Fat Travel Guide. Bubba and everybody else that's been here, thank you for coming. And thank you. I will have a fun time going to Kentucky, and I promise you there will be some bourbon involved while I'm out there with my son. So anyway, this is Chillie, the Fat Travel Guide. I'll see you on Saturday morning, or if something happens between now and Saturday, I'll just keep watching for the videos. I'll talk to you soon. Later, y'all.